My name's Mitzi Jennings, and I'm a stay-at-home mama with 2 little girls. You can watch those stupid shows on TV. The wedding dress show, that one gets me every time. You got girls on there that's really wishing their mamas was with them. And that's my fear, is not to be. Yes, I'm married. We've almost been married 10 years. March, we were married 10 years. And it's either prostate cancer, breast cancer, all of those. They're all up for raising money and doing all of this. And Georgia has one walk a year. They're coming, they're starting to do more, but it's not a big one compared to how many people they say is diagnosed daily with them. And all. I think I was 32. Yeah. Just turned 32. Yeah. My birthday was in October, and then we found out in November. It's a brain tumor on the right frontal lobe. He's who told us that it was showing a new spot, because when you have an MRI done and it's got contrast on it, a regular MRI will just show a gray spot on mine. Well, with contrast, it'll lighten it up and it'll be a bright color. Well, when he done it, it showed up a bright color, so they knew something was growing, something was going on. So on Halloween of 2011, I went in and they done a craniotomy. I have 3 plates up there where they went in, and he said it was like the thing that a dentist sucks your mouth out with. It's kind of what he sucked the tumor spot out with. And when they tested it, it come back that it was a GBM is the initials for it, and that's one of the deadliest brain cancers. It was a stage 4, so that was Halloween. In November is when I started taking the Timidar. I take 345 milligrams each day. Yeah, each day for those 5 days. And that's what I've been doing since. I go on that Monday and have blood work done. They check my counts. So far everything's been good, everything's looked good. If my counts are good, I can start the chemo and do that, and then 28 days later I go back to the doctor and start it over. Not seeing my kids growing. Because by statistics, you usually only live about 12 to 14 months after being diagnosed with it. So I'm going on 16 months now. I've read stories where there's actually a guy on Facebook that I'm friends with. He's 9 years. So there's people that do live and all, and they say that I am in good health. Other than that, because to look at me physically, there's nothing wrong with me. If you just walked up to me and started talking, there's nothing wrong with me. But they said if you looked at my scans, it looks like I've been shot in the head with buckshot because of all the holes and everything where the tumor was at and where they went in and taken it out at. And there's a lot of people that's lived longer than what they've said, but there's still a lot of tests going on. I've done a clinical trial, was what my surgery was done with, and I drank, I think it was Guiolene is what they called it. I drank that, and for him to be able to do the surgery, because we were told that it was inoperable because they just don't show up when you go in the operating room and turn the lights on. It don't show up. Well, the Guiolene highlighted it bright pink, and he was able to see what he was getting out because he put black lights, was in the operating room, and they lit it up bright pink for him to know that he was getting it out and all. And then I done a clinical trial for a PET scan, and they're trying to figure out, they're still in their testing of doing that to see if they can see what causes it, if they can come up with more, because it's not hereditary from what they know as of yet, but they know that a gene from my mama and a gene from my daddy is what caused it, but they don't know if I can pass it to my kids yet. Me personally, I like all of my doctors at Emory. I talked to several different ones when we first found out about it, and there's places that are willing to help you get out there as far as transportation wise. They'll put you in a place to stay, but Emory will do the same thing, and it was closer, and I love my doctors down there now. I mean, that's what Dr. Reddy is with Atlanta Cancer Care, but all my other doctors are with Emory, and so luckily they'll work together for me because they wanted me to see an oncologist down there, and I went and met him because they asked me to do the third trial of taking several different chemos together, and he was just as nice. But I've gotten to know Dr. Reddy over the last 2 years, and I got to know Dr. Hodgkinias, and I trust him too. If they come up and said, this is what we got to do, I would go with what they said, and I wouldn't have to think about it. But a different oncologist comes in and he wants to say, well, I think we need to do this. I'm going to question it. And I took all of the paperwork from Emory to Dr. Reddy to go over before I made my decision about not doing the third trial and waiting. Because they said the way Dr. Reddy put it is, why treat something right now that you know is going to get worse down the road, and if you're treating it now and it gets worse, you're not going to have nothing to treat it with.